all these people, using that. And I'm especially talking about like fast food restaurants. Not saying that all of them are bad, but it's fast food, so they're gonna bypass past some steps.
Yes.
Because they're trying to get, and especially people eating at Popeyes. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure chicken sandwiches too has been dropped on the ground.
I go into restaurants sometimes, and when I'm getting something like on my way to class or something like that, and I'll notice and look, there's nothing wrong with that. People have excessive hair or excessive weave.
No.
Wait. But let me get to this point. They have excessive weaves and stuff, and it isn't under the net, and it's just excessive. You know what I'm saying? But and you're messing with the food, and I kind of look, and I look at them like, yeah, you got your hair pulled back, but that doesn't stop.
I do not want nobody with their hair all over cooking my food. If you got long fingernails,
right.
I can't do it.
Right.
So anyway, and then Dee says, but some people are unsanitary when they cook. Yeah,
yes.
they just are. So imagine if you had fast food.
No, don't even imagine that. Y'all know when y'all go in the bathroom, you see people just walk out.
All the time when I'm in a public bathroom, and I'm like, you just bypass all that soap, good ass soap and water right now?
Yeah, I know they got the blow machine and you don't like that, but if that's what you're going to do to dry your hands.
I even hear people, when I was in the bathroom once, a girl put her hands under the sink just for like 2 seconds and went.
Wow.
That's supposed to be clean?
Yes.
Okay. And then Jonelle says, we are groomed into the worst dietary fast food, artificial flavored food, etc. Very little natural fruits and vegetables. Mm-hmm. We wonder why we get sickness and disease, and hugging death. We need to wake up. No fast food place has our best interest at heart more than our dollar. Absolutely. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure, probably, I don't know for sure, but at least 1/4 of them chicken sandwiches have been dropped on the ground.
Exactly. And they ain't got time to, 5-second rule.
There you go. Because now you got people wanting to kick your butt because you're taking too long for the chicken sandwiches. So, anyway, let's go ahead and transition over to
Harriett.
Yes. Harriet Tubman, Hollywood Harriet, as I like to call the movie. I would say, admittedly, I did not watch the movie. I didn't watch the movie. I wasn't going to watch the movie. Normally, I'll go watch those type of things, but I didn't watch the movie because I heard about a lot of things that were going on with the movie. And Dee says, Queen, I can't go nowhere because I know how food is supposed to be prepared properly and the temperature. See, and that's a chef.
See, and that's the thing. When you, indeed, nothing against you, but I'm sure before you really became a great chef that you are, you didn't even know a lot of what you know now.
I tell people all the time, I worked at Frito-Lay for 13 years and...
Eye-opening.
Very eye-opening. I worked in the sanitation department where we had to, not talking about janitorial, we sweeping the floor. I'm talking about having a deep, clean, sanitized... Equipment, making sure that it passed all the
inspections,
swabs and all of that there was no bacteria on there. And I saw some things. And I worked at McDonald's when I was in high school, and I saw some things. And I'm like, oh. So anyway, let's see. And Dee says, so I don't bother. And Jonelle says, oh, did you see the picture on Facebook of the Popeyes worker making the sandwiches on the trash can journal? Oh,
man.
And you know the cold part about that, Jonelle, is because they're probably just under the gun. Like, shit, let me get these sandwiches out. Okay, we don't have no more counter space. Let me go and just put it on top of this trash can.
Instead of them saying, hey, anybody want any overtime? We're going to keep you guys here late at night. And we're going to make these sandwiches, pre-make them, and come open the door.
But see, then the people going to say they ain't fresh. So...
No, just prep them before you get them fresh.
So the poor workers are being worked to death over getting these chicken sandwiches
and not getting a raise for all the shit that they're going through.
And one other thing I say before I go to Harriet, so I saw some people saying, well, shouldn't Popeyes just stop selling the sandwich? What do you say about that?
Corporate greed and the modern age, they're not going to do it. They should, but they're not going to do it.
What is the best publicity you can get for a chicken sandwich?
Black people just going at it.
A mofo stabbing somebody over it.
Exactly.
That is the best publicity you can get.
Controversy sells.
Forget finger licking good. How about stabbing a mofo?
Stabalicious good.
Yes. Yeah. That's the best advertising you can get. I mean, just from a corporate standpoint, if I was Popeyes, I'd be like,
yep.
We just waiting for somebody else to get stabbed.
You constantly want somebody to talk about you and keep you in the media, even if it's negative.
Yes. And Tay says, replying to Jonelle, she says, I saw that, yuck. So anyway, Hollywood Harriet, the Harriet Tubman movie, Came out last Friday.
Was it a movie or is it on Netflix?
No, it's on. It's a movie out on the big screen.
Okay, gotcha.
Big screen. So it's a depiction. Like I said, I didn't see the movie.
I didn't see it either.
Wasn't going to see the movie. I guess you could say I kind of boycotted the movie, if you will, because the actress, for one, Cynthia Erivo, said some. Now she's European. She's a black European. Who the heck is that? Okay. Is that one of your porn stars?
No, she's on some kind of...
Got it.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Everybody's getting a show because, D, you've kicked it off.
Is that what it is?
Yes, you've kicked it off.
So anyway, the actress Cynthia Erivo, I guess is how you say her name, she's from Europe and she's black, said some pretty disparaging things about African Americans, calling us ghetto and that kind of stuff. Now, this happened before the movie came out.
This is the actress in it.
The actress, the lead actress. Yeah, wow. Saying bad things about African Americans. So people are like, okay, I'm cool on her from that point of view. And then also it was discovered that the company that's produced the Harriett Tubman movie is actually Comcast. Comcast is in the process of blackballing Byron Allen, who was trying to get, get his stuff on their platform, and they won't for whatever reason. So he sued them for $20 billion, and they're going to hear that case on the 13th. And so all those things working together. And so once the movie was viewed by a couple of people, the word got out that they actually made the villain in the movie the black guy. So there's a fictional guy in the movie called Bigger Long.
Right. Of course.
I don't even know what kind of name that is, but his name is Bigger Long.
Think about bigger. Change the B.
And I mean, just to me, that sounds like a scary, it's almost like Candyman, if you will, And so he's actually, from what I heard, is the bad guy, and it kind of makes the slave masters and the white people in the movie the good guys, right? And so sounds like this Bigger Long character, the black guy, is pursuing her. He's actually like the slave catcher, so he's trying to take her down. Okay. That's this whole movie. And in fact, there's this white lady, I don't know who she is, I guess she's somebody. She tweeted and said she took her daughter to see the movie, and her daughter was terrified of this character named Bigger Long, and she was like, what the F, Hollywood? This is fictional, and I'm paraphrasing, but you made this up. Now my daughter is scared of black dudes, especially dudes that look like this fictional Bigger Long. And so, doesn't sound like the movie was completely factual. I guess you never really would know because who was there when Harriett was there, right? But to add things to the movie, especially a black villain.
Wait. Harriett Tubman died in 1913.
I think it was something like that, 1913.
Okay, my grandfather would have been born about 15 years later.
So years and years and years ago,
later.
She died.
Right.
And so I call it Hollywood Harriett because it's been Hollywood-fied, if you will. It's the Hollywood version, and that's kind of how it is a lot of times when Hollywood makes movies about us. They somehow make it to where the white person or the white person in real life is now the villain. Now the hero, if you will.
Well, ask yourself this. Who directed the movie? Because a lot of these movies...
It's a black lady.
See, but what kind of black lady? You see what I'm saying? I mean...
Yeah, I know she's a black lady.
If she's an Angela Rye or one of these people that...
Well, clearly she is because, they made the bad guy a black dude?
Right. Because, anybody that is, into their history is going to give an accurate depiction of, and a positive depiction of their people.
And I'm not saying there weren't any bad black people in slavery. I'm not saying that because we know that there's, black people who did the
some
master's
horrible
bidding.
Stuff, yeah.
They did the master's bidding. Hell, I'm going to get an extra biscuit and I'm going to stay alive, a little bit longer. And I don't get worked as hard if I, work on behalf of the slave owner. So I get that part of it. But, to make this movie that is actually a black man that's after Harriett Tubman, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is
but
the show still going, you guys? Somebody set the show pause. Is it still going?
But sometimes you got to use your own to infiltrate your own. You know what I mean? So sometimes I'm not saying it's always in that situation. It wasn't Harriett Tubman's situation, but it could be.
Right. But so I didn't, like I said, I didn't see the movie. I'm not going to see the movie. I don't think, and I saw the interview that she did with Oprah. She being Cynthia Erivo, I guess trying to explain. She said, I really worked hard at this movie. You know, I want everybody to go see it because I really did work hard. I'm like, oh, so we should go see it because you worked hard?
Right, exactly.
Never mind.
Now you're thinking about the repercussions.
Yeah, and so, okay, now, I don't know because I don't really know box office. Al, maybe you can help us because you know box office stuff. This dude is a movie buff, if you will. So the movie made, I think it was $12 million. And it cost $17 to make. I've seen some articles saying it was a box office success, if you will. But they said it cost $17 million to make, and I think $14 million to advertise.
Right. So that's
and it
28.
Made 12.
So it made 12. So it made its advertising budget back. So technically, right now, it hasn't made its money back, but it will probably in DVD and.
But on opening weekend, is that a smash?
No.
I don't think that's a success.
And another thing is you got to remember who did it open up against, because a lot of black people and a lot of people who might have been interested in that movie went to go see Terminator.
Well, a lot
whatever that new Terminator is.
The boycott, if you will, and I'm going to get to you guys' comments, the boycott, if you will, worked because the word got out about this actress and Comcast and, you know,
a lot of things,
the movie.
Yeah, a lot of the boycotts that we put out, not us, but, you know, that goes out is receptive because we have we're not listening to the main players now. Now we're listening.
People are starting to wake up, and that's what it is. And so that movie opened in, I think it was about 2,500 theaters, which is, I guess, considered a lot.
That's nationwide.
For a movie like that, of that caliber, Harriett Tubman movie, it was supposed to do, they were thinking somewhere near Black Panther. Or maybe not,
No, they were thinking probably at least
half of that, I would say, on opening weekend.
No. Opening, that would be too much.
The 1/4?
No, I would say if that movie would have made at least $56 million on opening weekend, it was on its way to be a blockbuster.
Got it. Well, it didn't do that,
right.
And so
for 3,500 screens, it should have made at least that. Yeah,
so to me that doesn't sound like a smash.
Right.
Sounds like it kind of faltered a lot. It should have done record numbers because when it first came out, I wanted to see it, but then when I started learning more about it, I was like, oh, well, I can't go see that.
And that's another thing, people out there that are listening and watching us on the show. What did we say? Don't believe the hype. Find out for yourself, because sometimes there's a movie out there. Everything that's put out, there's an agenda to it.
Right.
Now, real quick, they're saying, like the Terminator thing, stay woke, go broke. It was a great franchise. The franchise actually ended after part 2. But now they put all these women in it, and they advertise that ahead of time. And I'm not saying there aren't... See, I hate that narrative that there are no strong women characters. Sarah Connors was a strong woman character.
Right.
Sigourney Weaver, strong woman character.
Right.
The coal miner's daughter, strong woman character.
Right.
I mean, this feminism stuff is killing a lot of good storytelling. So if you're going to make a movie, make it a good storytelling and keep the politics. At Star Wars, dead on arrival because of the feminism that was put into it. So, but in these movies, go look and, don't listen to what the critic is saying. Look at the different narratives. If you want to say we don't make an impact, ask Kamala Harris.
Ooh. And so people are saying the show is pausing. I don't know why it's pausing, so my apologies, you guys, if it's still pausing. And Jonelle says to kill for, and the wife says, "Is this live on Friday night?" Yes, like
you're live.
And so somebody else said the show is pausing, and then
that's because they're trying to shut us down.
Kay says you wouldn't get white dollars if the villain was white. True. So yeah, you gotta appease
the people who are gonna go to the movies, right?
Is the show still pausing, you guys? Can you guys give us a thumbs up or something if it's okay? It's okay. And then let's see. Indeed, it says she put her whole damn foot in her mouth. Yeah, she did. And that damn Twitter. That's why you got to be careful what you say. Yeah. Then a lot of people too were mad because they're like, why did they cast a British actress? Why not cast an American descendant of slaves? Because
when you cast an American in productions, we want top dollar for because we're Americans. The greed of us is unbelievable. It is cheaper to get an outside unknown, international star, so-called international star, because unfortunately we think that everything is Americanized, and it's not. I mean, you got some international stars out that are known, but they don't make the same kind of money as a black star makes here. Jonelle
says, I streamed the movie. Of course, they would make a black man look like a saint. I think wouldn't kill mainly blacks and no whites, but it shows why we must be our own production. We can't expect whites to do what we can't expect whites to do. To do what they can't afford to do, or those whites, a black body, white mind. That's why our children must see the reality from us, like books, like Without Sanctuary, 100 Years of Lynching, etc. But like the white woman said, our stature is measured in niggas. So as it was, still is. They can't afford blacks in self-love, black unity, and true awareness. Our self-love is empowerment to the max and change beyond limitation to power. And that's actually a great point. If they showed us as to who we really are, truly were before slavery and all of that, then they would completely lose. Because then, because if you think about something like the Black Panther, even the Black Panther at the end, they united with the white guy, and he kind of helped save the day too.
Bucky.
Yeah, so it's like, feels good, but we can't. And then now they're gonna join together with all the nations. Like, really, Wakanda?
Only in a movie,
right? And then and I hope it's doing much better, guys. Just annihilate them in Predator, strong women characters.
There's always been strong women characters.
Is that movie out now?
What?
A Predator?
Yeah. No. She's talking about AVP, Alien versus Predator. Sanaa Lathan was in that movie.
Got it.
But there's always been strong women characters, and now because they're on this woman agenda, I could never understand that. Like, there's not enough women. There's plenty of women in characters now. That old exploitation of the '70s, back in the day, where the woman was always the wife.
Yeah,
that's been gone. So
I got women out there, kicking ass,
and taking names, and
right,
and leading families and leading art. I just don't get it, but. Again, you can destroy a franchise by putting your political... Just tell a good story. Just tell a good story.
Right.
And tell an accurate story. Right. So this Harriet Tubman with the black man, that obviously is totally fiction.
But Jonelle made a good point. That was to appease white people, because we have the true depiction. What was she running from? Right. We know it wasn't primarily a black man that was hunting her down.
Right. Well, I'm glad Jonelle brought that up, because we're staying on this topic, but I just kind of want to pivot a little bit. There is an article out where it was leaked. Pete Buttigieg party has said that the reason why he hasn't caught on with blacks is because we're homophobic.
I read that. I was listening to NPR today.
Right.
Talking about that. Yeah.
Which is bullshit. You know what I mean? Like the older folks, they're a product of their time. Maybe some of them are. You were raised, man, woman, whatever the deal is. But this is the narrative that they put out to make us seem like, we're unreasonable. How about this, Mr. Pete Buttigieg? Maybe we don't like you because of the fact of your policies in Indiana.
With the police
department.
Yeah.
You fired the black police chief, the first black police chief, because the union made you do it.
And then he stuttered on some police brutality issues.
Instead of firing, the police chief say, I'm the mayor, I don't care. He's fired as of right now. You didn't do that. Maybe that's why we don't like you.
I'm not a statistics person. I suck. I'm sorry that the show is pausing. Is the show still pausing, you guys?
Okay. Usually when the show starts pausing for no apparent reason, that is the internet itself, and it is probably Facebook, because they are now told Congress that they will start disrupting positive messages and stuff like that in politics, and that's what they're designed to do. So we'll do the best we can to keep everything going, but just bear with us, because it isn't our router here, and if it is, it's just like I said, I think it's Facebook and the platform.
I'll just start over.
Yeah.
So
we're still on this, but one of the things I want to talk about is Pete Buttigieg. Now, what's her name? Nancy Klobuchar. She is polling. She went from 2% to 4%, and she's like, "I'm in it. I'm in it to win it."
Really?
2% to 4%.
Okay.
Kamala, they say, is at
5th place.
She's in 5th place.
She's in 5th place now.
And she was a top tier candidate. And here's one thing I don't like about Kamala now. And black women, get ready. Hold your plaits. Take your hat off. Whatever you're going to do. When she was attacking Joe Biden that was okay. But then when Tulsi attacked her, oh my God, how dare her, right?
Right.
Now she's in 5th place. What is her go-to game?
Yeah.
United States is not ready for a woman of color to be president.
Now we're talking about politics a little bit here and talking about Kamala. And to your other point, so Kamala is in 5th place now. Mm-hmm. They said, I read an article saying that Kamala went from being the Barack Obama to Barack Obama 2020 to being in 5th place. And so now Kamala has come out with this, let's make the school days longer.
Right.
So the kids are supposed to be getting out at 6 o'clock now.
Because, and they say that she wants to do that because it parallels the parents' working time.
But my daughter made a very good point. My daughter's a very smart individual.
Yes, she is.
I wonder who her mama is.
And tough.
But anyway, my daughter made a good point. She says, okay, so if the kids are in school longer, that also means that parents are going to be working longer in some cases. She says, why not just shorten the parents' work days?
No, that would be too much like, right?
I mean, I'm just saying, because like, there's parents who go to work from 5 in the morning and don't come home until 8 at night.
Right.
Why not just shorten the work day so the parents can be home and the kids can be home? Because, like, what kid wants to be at school from 7 o'clock in the morning and then get home at 7 o'clock? Like, who does that?
Right. Now, for all the confusion and bullshit Kamala has thrown out there, here's a woman who was arresting moms because their kids are truant.
Right, well, she might like it's more opportunity to do that.
Yeah, to snatch them up now. However, in 1950-something, I forgot, don't quote me on that, how are you going to enforce a federally mandated thing? That's a states' rights issue and school board issue of how you're going to mandate the school days of certain school districts and stuff like that. The federal government doesn't have the power to do that. My
daughter also made a good point and saying, and I forgot, it just slipped my mind.
Slipped your mind.
Yeah, but it was a good point. I'm sure to come back to it. And Dee Dee says, that's an overwhelming day for any child. Can you imagine?
Yes.
Okay, honey.
And then you got to think.
Anthony.
And then you got to think about how are you going to pay for it? Who's going to be at work?
So that's the other point she made.
Okay.
The other point my daughter made was, well, now teachers got to be at school all day.
Right.
I'm a teacher. I'm used to getting home at 4 o'clock and leave 3:30. Now I got to stay to 6 o'clock.
Right.
Because Kamala want people. But the other point she was making that was my daughter was saying that's her way to get more votes because now the parents are like,
desperate.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, she's desperate.
Now the kids got to stay in school and I can work more. I can trick off more.
No, and again, do your research on what she's throwing. That's a grenade bomb that uninformed people about. The federal government cannot mandate educational hours for individual schools. That's a states' right issue. She feels
like she's going to do that.
No, that's just what she's saying. Yeah, no. See, notice she get the vote, and it's just, I can't get to that.
And then, what did she say before that? She was going to, if you pay your light bill, that'll go on your credit, and it'll show us good credit.
Right, but what happens if you don't pay your light bill?
Like most people, I need an extension.
No. What happens if you don't pay your light bill?
It goes on your credit.
It goes on your credit.
Right.
So you just ruin your credit even more.
It's like, girl, Kamala needs me on the team. That's what she needs. And we can come up with some real good policies. And here's
the thing: I got a lot of emails that people are like, "You're always attacking Kamala." No, I'm informing you of this person who this woman is. Now, you got to remember, if you're into a woman who identifies as Indian, she doesn't identify as black. There is another candidate who's an Indian candidate and a woman, Tulsi Gabbard.
They say she's a Russian bot.
See, and that's bullshit too. Now we are coming up on Veterans Day, and I will be out there starting at 6 a.m.
We know. I'm gonna be with you.
Yeah, okay. If we're gonna get some free,
friends
and
bring a
eat
friend
free,
with
right?
You.
Now, I am highly offended. Tulsi Gabbard is still in the Army Reserves, and she's a major. Here's a woman who enlisted when 9/11 happened and went to go fight for this country. And you've got these so-called people out here who never put on the uniform. The country was just attacked. Where's your patriotism? Why didn't you go put on the uniform? But you're the type of person, and I'm talking about like the Hillary Clinton supporters and everybody like that, you're going to send people's kids into combat. Now, yesterday I was in a class and I was with these young kids and they were like, why shouldn't we have a draft? Because they're like, yeah, the draft is stupid. I said, well, we need to bring the draft back. And they said, well, why? I said, well, think about this. I was deployed 16 times. 1% of the population has fought these wars. And don't get me wrong, there's all kinds of reasons why you don't have to get drafted because you got a deferment. There's all kinds of ways to get out of it.
Right.
But by having a draft, it spreads the wealth to everybody. And if my kid is susceptible to get drafted and they can't get out of it, we wouldn't be in these forever wars.
Now that I do agree with.
Okay.
If everybody was fair game.
Everybody was fair game. We wouldn't be in these forever wars.
I agree with that.
Do you guys realize you've got kids that are in the military right now that weren't even born when 9/11 happened? Why aren't you guys alarmed by that? Hillary Clinton's policies?
You know why?
Because their kids are not.
There's chicken sandwiches.
Chicken sandwiches are out there and all that other stuff. And,
right.
And God bless you because it takes somebody to go and fight so you can have that chicken sandwich. But I want you also to remember this.
Oh, is that what
yes.
it is?
I want you guys to remember this.
Spin that.
Yes. I want you guys to remember this, okay? We're talking about fairness. I was deployed 16 times. So let's do the math. I got deployed the first time. The chance of me being killed significantly low because we just get there, whatever else. I went 16 times. Every time I keep going back, my chances of coming back in a body bag gets greater and greater. So you mean to tell me that they're going to keep sending the same people until they're dead? That's what's happening here. Back in our Father's Day, and some of you guys Grandfather's Day and whatever, you went to Vietnam one time. If you wanted to go back, you can volunteer to go back, but you're going to go at least once. And then that's it. You don't have to go back anymore. Now people are going to say, well, there's not enough people. That's bullshit. We have more than enough people in the military right now. They're going to keep sending these kids until they're dead. And why are you for these forever wars? You're not benefiting from it. And most of the people that are going are people of color.
I'm not for it. But I wouldn't go fight either.
No, and that's fine. If you got a good reason why you should not fight, tell that to the board. Good,
right.
Good for you. But if there was a draft, these wars would stop a lot, and we wouldn't get into them so quick.
I agree with you. And Daryl, you said they do that in Europe and go to school on Saturday. During that time, they learn more languages amongst many things.
Yes, in Japan, they do it in Asia too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess, but to 6 o'clock at night, I feel sorry for a lot of these kids parents who work. They go to school all day. Some of them go to these before school programs, and they are in school.
But these are the kids
after school programs.
Right, but these are the kids that want something in life. Now you got Section 8 moms sitting around doing nothing but watching Jerry Springer all day. Don't give a damn about their kids. They send their kids for daycare to school.
Stupid.
Let's be real. I'm not saying all of them do it, but I'm saying, you know what I'm talking about. There are some women that do, their parents that do that. They don't give a damn.
They got shit to do.
The kids ain't got a chance in the world. And they even let the kids smoke weed or catch a crime or whatever. So the kid can't even get out of the environment, even to join the military if they wanted to. They can't even do that. So, let's be real.
I personally think a 6-hour, 12-hour,
ridiculous.
18-hour day, that's long
ridiculous.
time for a child. I mean,
that's ridiculous.
Like,
all because your parents are working. No, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, let a child be a child.
Yes.
Yes. And indeed, he says children have an attention span of a pigeon.
Yes.
So, all-day education won't work. Gonna have a lot of overly stimulated kids that is running around. Absolutely. Or just bonkers.
Well, look at the kids we have now. We teach them to test. They don't even know shit. We just teach them how to test.
I mean, just think about us when we have to do a lot of thinking, because I think a lot for work, and I tell people all the time, that's more exhausting than the physical sometimes, because your mind is always going.
Constantly.
You got to focus, you got to read, you got to talk, you got to think. And so I can imagine doing that for 10 hours a day. That'd just be a lot.
And the bottom line is, where are you going to get the money for the additional resources of the additional hours?
We won't give you Negroes reparations.
Right. I've already paid a lot of property tax, so now you mean to tell me I've got to pay more?
Yes.
Come on now.
And Anthony says Donald Trump will win again with these Democrats that are running against him. Trust me when I tell you that. We already know. Believe the same thing.
Yeah, we already know.
We like Yang. We like Andrew.
Yeah, but they're not ready for a proficient Asian to get the job done. They're not ready for that. Even though he's the only candidate promising to give you $1,000. Nobody else is promising to give you anything.
And Anthony, the crazy part is, out of all the stuff that Donald Trump is doing that he still has a good chance of being president again.
I know.
That's the nuts part.
No, it's not.
I mean, it is if you think about it. I mean, hell, Bill Clinton got impeached for getting his wing things.
Yeah, but but no, it's not, because what Donald Trump has done, it basically told you these are the same parties. I don't care if he's a Republican. He claims to be a Republican. He was a Republican. He was a lifelong Democrat up until he changed and said, you know what, I could win if I run like this.
And said that years ago.
Years ago. So this guy's a Democrat. These are the same people. It doesn't matter. Kamala Harris, right now, I will tell you guys this right now. Kamala Harris screwed up when she ran as a Democrat.
Yeah,
she should have ran as a Republican.
I agree with
and
you.
she would have beaten Donald Trump in a Republican primary.
I agree.
Now, would she have won the general? I don't think so, because she was exposed. But if she had ran as a Republican,
right,
she would still be at the top of the list right now.
Right. And Anthony said, the draft is stupid. You're going to force someone to fight for a country and come back in a country that don't fight for them. Doesn't make any sense. No, and I agree with that.
I understand what you're going with that.
I agree with Donovan in that he's saying, not saying that they should, but he's saying if everybody was drafted. Was everybody
susceptible?
And especially these people, these lawmakers, senators and stuff that make
their kids,
the decision that, we're going to have this war. If their kids were susceptible to the draft, then it would stop. Right. Then everybody else who's just kind of, like you said, sit back, well, I'm not going to join. If they didn't have a choice, then people would be more against the wars if everybody was open to
and don't get me wrong, I'm not for, I'm not a warmonger. Like I said, I did 24 years in it. But from what I see, you're sending me 16 times.
Right.
Until I'm dead. And luckily I got out of it. And you've got people, we've been in Afghanistan since 2001. Why aren't you alarmed by that? So,
because like you said, because they're kids, right? And they don't have to go.
So, right. but for us, black and brown, whatever. I just had a kid in 2000. You mean to tell me my son is going to fight a war that he wasn't even around for?
Right. New fresh meat.
You know what I mean? Just grinding him up.
Right. Right.
And like I said, he's grown now. He's 18. I can't do anything. He's going to go fight a war he wasn't even born to be.
And to your point, Anthony, I get it. Yeah. People going to fight a war for a country that's not necessarily for them. I'm with you on that one.
But a draft doesn't mean everybody fights.
But I get Donovan's point, too. I mean, he's gone 16 times. Like, wow, really?
Yeah, you're sending the same people.
No one else wants to go.
Right. But you're sending me. Right. And like I said, in the draft, not everybody goes, but everybody's susceptible to go.
Right. And Jonelle says the rich don't send their kids to war, only the poor. Right. But the rich are the ones making the decisions.
And they making the money.
And he also say all wars are bankers' wars. Yes. Watch that on YouTube. Yeah. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And that's where there's wars, there's money.
But again, our kids are the ones doing most of the fighting and most of the maiming and getting fucked up. This war's been going on almost 20 years. How come you're not alarmed by that?
Right.
Forever wars.
Right. And Tay says we have to keep in mind that Kamala's plan was to align the school day to work with parent schedules.
Yes.
This isn't extending instruction hours, just making after-school options available for low-income areas. But they already have that.
Right.
They already have that. The after-school programs. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of them out here. So that's why when I heard it, I was like,
desperate.
Yeah, like, well, come on, Kamala.
Throw something against the wall, hope it sticks.
But come on now. Yeah. Really? There's a whole lot of things she could be doing.
What she should have said was this. I'm going to put home economics back into schools. I'm going to mandate the federal government put trade back into schools because we got to stop lying to our kids. Everybody's got a degree now. Everybody's got a degree. There are no jobs.
Right.
Start getting back into vocation.
Working with your hands.
Yeah, we got to start doing that. And I guarantee you, she would have got a lot more votes if she would have said, I'm going to put vocational
studies. Would you have voted for her?
No.
Okay. And Anthony says, facts. And Didi says some schools are already closing after-school programs and sports programs, etc. to save money. She's doing too much.
Yep.
And that is true, too. Yep. A lot of them can't stay open because they don't have the
resources.
Funding. A lot of them are funded by grants.
Right. And then you're also having problems with the people that are working these after-school programs being assaulting children and all, the liability in it is really
And so Anthony said that is the choice you made.
Yes. And that's fine that I made that choice. However, 16 times being deployed. And the war's, forget me, the war's been going on for 20 years.
What's the average amount of deployment for one person?
If you're going for 1 year, if you're in the Army, you're going to be deployed for at least, I believe, 18 months. And they had to extend that
but
past
I'm saying,
12.
But you went 18 times.
I went
16
16
times. So what's the average time that a person is deployed?
It depends on what branch of service you're in. So I was an air crew member.
Air crew member.
It's different. So it's totally different the way we do our thing. But if you're
is 16 excessive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I should not have to go fight when you fight a war, if you're going to take people to war, you don't want to extend it. You want it to be as quickly as possible. Kick some ass, be done with it, count your deaths, and come back home and do what you got to do.
I imagine you probably get a little bit on the complacent side if you're there for a long time and you go a lot. Just kind of...
You're just there. You're going to be there until you're dead.
Right. That's no good. And so Jonelle says the masses are being pacified. Trump got 2020 on lock. Mm-hmm. You got to break Zionist regulations of the Zionist owned nation. A vote is less than currency, worthless. Gold and silver, natural resources, big banking ruling.
Yeah. And last thing about the war, I'm not complaining because of me. I'm saying I've run into kids at the base that weren't even born, and I'm looking as an adult, a responsible adult, saying, why is this kid fighting a war I was fighting?
Right. Still.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
And let's see here. And...
Lies!
And Tay says, no, not all places have after-school care.
Sure.
That is true, too.
That's right. When you're in Beverly Hills, they don't need it.
Because their mamas are staying home.
Right,
okay?
right. Come
Gucci bags and all. And Anthony says that will help the entrepreneurship, too, as far as Andrew Yang.
Yes.
And then Tay says, there are too many variables that determine lengths of deployment and times one will deploy. Okay, so there's no way of saying how many.
The average Marine, Army, infantry guy, it used to be like a year. Mm-hmm. But because there's not enough people volunteering, and you got to keep sending people, they extended it to 18 months. So your first year is now 18 months.
So, Tay, how many times were you deployed?
Tay was in logistics. She's in the rear with the gear.
Want me to stab him?
No. Her job is important because she's telling us what these guys are going to need to take down the range.
The way you said it sounded like y'all.
No.
She was at the caboose.
No. Yeah. No. You don't take your important people and put them in the field. They got to stay where they're at to tell us.
Okay, so how many times were you deployed? And Jonelle says, lies only make good slaves.
Yeah.
We got to give our youth the truth. Right, Donovan? The future for the youth is hands-on training now and then being rooted in reality. The truth is not BS.
Right.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, I have 11 degrees, but I can also work with my hands. So I can feed myself. I don't live off of my degrees. Right. Everybody's got degrees.
But I know how to do other stuff too.
Exactly.
Legal.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, as a man, I know how to work with my hands.
Right. As you should.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
You know how to screw in a light bulb? Shit.
Light bulb, work on a car.
Right.
Do what I got to do.
Yeah. Donovan has rebuilt his whole house by himself. Well, mostly by myself.
Yeah. Mostly.
And Charlie says, hashtag Andrew Yang 2020 speaks about technology and vocational education.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Yang.
He says that everybody is not going to go to college, and even when these jobs leave because of AI.
Yes, that's what he said. The AI is going to wipe out millions of jobs.
And it says, especially for truck drivers, he says they're not going to go and learn AI.
No.
They're going to need
Kamala Harris. Well, learn coding.
Well, that's easy.
Learn the code.
Well, that's easy.
That's her answer for everything.
I've been built a nuclear bomb on accident.
Right.
And also, and Tay says she's been deployed three times.
Three times.
And he says, I didn't deploy due to my role in AF, what's that? AF
Air Force
SOC.
Yeah, I forget what that is.
Okay. Well, it sounds,
Special Operations Command.
Got it. Okay, got it. So 3 times. You say she went.
Oh, you disclosed that? I got to kill you now, Tay.
What's that? TDY?
She's in Special Ops.
A lot. Oh, okay. So that's why she didn't deploy as much.
No. She deployed 3, but she...
3.
Yeah, due to her role of Special Ops.
Got
so
it.
I don't know what she did, but she isn't supposed to disclose that. So I got to go... I'll be over there in about 15 minutes to kill you.
She's already at the front door to kill you. Okay?
Special Ops. That's a high tempo.
Got it. Okay. That's
Special Forces.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, Special Forces.
That's the way to go. So anyway, how much time we got on the podcast?
We got about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. And so anyway, you guys... we'll be back here on Sunday. I have no idea what we're going to talk about.
Well, what I want to talk, we got 5 minutes real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to talk about how people like Tay, and Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there.
Yes, Happy Veterans Day to you all.
But we have people out here who are getting nice pads and spots. You know, well, I was out here struggling. You know, low rent, but it's a blessing.
Paid their dues.
Yes, they paid their dues, and I don't care what anybody says. This is still one of the greatest countries in the world. Because
that's what they tell us.
Well, because you know, for the person I'm talking about that got that opportunity, if there was anywhere else, you wouldn't get that opportunity.
They would get a satellite.
Yeah, right.
a tinfoil house and a satellite. That's what they give people in Africa.
In South Africa,
a lot of poverty in South Africa.
Yeah, Johannesburg.
Well, actually, Soweto.
Soweto.
They have the tinfoil houses.
Cardboard house with tinfoil.
Give everybody a satellite.
Yeah, everybody's got a satellite dish
with no electricity.
That's right.
But do you need
and 8 to 12 people?
8 to 12 people in a shack. So yes, it's jacked up over here, but
yes, I mean we have our problems, but it's still the best thing going.
Right. So. I mean, hell, I can come live in your backyard and live like a queen.
Yes, you can. I got a couple tents. Pop them up.
Fruit trees and stuff. Water, running water.
I'm thinking about putting a fountain back there.
You think about renting that out back then?
No, not yet.
Okay, let me know.
I got to put the fountain. Okay, first dibs.
Right.
But you're gonna be in Houston. How you gonna do that? And speaking of Houston, we got a couple minutes. I want the dirt.
We just went to Houston.
You went to Houston? Are you recharged?
I'm always recharged.
No. I'm talking about because there were times you were about to give up. Al slap you around and get you.
You know, I was good until I saw the chicken sandwich debacle.
Right.
Then I was like, I was back being depressed again.
Yes.
And Dee Dee says, I understand that education is vital. I'm college educated myself. I have 2 degrees, but experience trumps degrees any day. Because most employers want who have experience, not degrees. Absolutely. Right. I always say degrees do not teach you hustle.
Yes.
That's something you got to learn on your own. They're nice. Degrees get you that extra bump, if you will, over the person who doesn't.
It gets you the minimum qualifications on the application. You got to have an associate degree or whatever.
You know,
it gets you past
you got
that
a master's degree.
Yeah.
They want to pay you $15 to do the job of 300 people.
Right.
Yeah, you know, and there's a lot of people lined up for that damn job. Wouldn't be me.
Right.
But
right.
But no, absolutely. Experience over degrees. It just depends on where you're going, but. We live in a day and age where we should be trying to start our own business.
Yes.
Doesn't have to be a mega corporation, but just something, multiple streams of income. I know a lot of people talk down about multiple streams of income, but it's important. Like Donovan said, he got 11 degrees, but he can also feed himself by working with his hands. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being, as they say, a master, a jack of all trades, you know.
Master a few, though. Master a few.
Learning how to do some of everything. It's nothing. I mean, that's what you call survival, especially out here in California.
Yes,
you better learn how to do something.
Yes.
And let's see here. And Anthony says, money is everywhere in America. You just need to know how to get it. You know, my mom used to say that all the time. There's money everywhere. Talk
to D. I come up with all kinds of deals. Matter of fact, the VA sent me a form, clothing allowance. It's a one-time payment that I didn't even know I was entitled to.
How much is it?
$1,200.
Okay, see what we're gonna do.
No, it's a one-time payment, annual payment.
I wear a size 8 and a half shoe, depending on what type of.
But here's why I get it, because I got to take those lotions for my skin because I have excessively dry skin from being deployed. So that damages my clothes, and so they're gonna have to compensate me. For my
that sounds like a crock of BS.
But that's why I get it.
You get lotion on your clothes, so you get $1,200.
I get once a year.
I said they better not never raise the age for
do it back in. No, but
how old are you, ma'am? I'm 48. Yeah, what can you do? Yes. My knees is getting bad, so don't ask me to bend down to do nothing. But I can be a good lookout. Hootie-hoo! Right.
He's absolutely right. There's money everywhere.
Right.
You just got to know where to go. And like I said, I didn't know anything about this until I talked to a friend that said, "Hey, are you getting such and such?" I said, "What? You can actually get that?"
Where are you going shopping?
What do you mean? I'm
going to Saks Fifth Avenue?
I'm going to take that money and I'm going to invest in some cannabis stock and sit on it. Right now, cannabis stock is down.
And you don't walk around with oil spots on your clothes?
That's right. I've been doing it.
See?
I've been doing it.
Hustling.
$1,200 tax free annual payment.
Whatever.
Money's everywhere.
But I'm still over.
Yes, and still over.
You also say, but I'm still overqualified for some jobs, educated or not. That's why I started my own business, because what's my experience trumps my degrees. People will not have to absolutely been there, sister. Oh well, you know, I just stopped looking long
me
ago.
too.
It's like
I got done when I got my part-time job when I got laid off at Santa Barbara. Even though I had more experience